All right, All Tubes Nation. This is This Week in Rec. I'm Aaron Wimstead. I'm here with Jason Briggs, and we're here to recap this week's games. So we'll start with Bloomington South. Pretty good games last night.
Very good games.
Let's talk about the Shockers. The Shockers are now 2-0, a new team in the league, and they beat the Good Thumpers pretty handily. They beat them by 14. What are your thoughts on them?
I took two things away from the game. I watched Shockers week 1 against Bad Boys. And yeah, everyone beats Bad Boys. Everyone beats the Bad Boys. And so you can easily dismiss their performance and their team ball and good shooting as, yeah, you were playing Bad Boys 3. Or Bad Girls 3 as it's supposed to be. Yeah.
I heard that. He lost a bet, right?
He lost a bet. It was Florida versus UCLA. Brandon had UCLA. Ant had Florida. If Florida won, Brandon was Bad Girls 3. If UCLA won, Ant had to play for Bad Boys. And I know Ant would have paid up on his bet, but Brandon is not. But anyway, Shockers, they just moved the ball really well. So when I was making the schedule, they weren't a new team. They don't seem like a brand new team. So I didn't want to give them a bunch of cupcakes, and actually this season we don't have a lot of cupcakes to begin with, because even
did you know they had played together?
No, I did not. But you could kind of tell that they had some chemistry. They signed up as a group. You don't get 6 random guys. Like we had one time 6 random guys just because they knew each other for pickup ball. Guys who play like this, you know they play together. So they reminded me a little bit of the Riddlers. I call them Riddlers Light. And also a little bit of 7, but they're a little bit older. So I knew they were going to be pretty good, and so when I was coming up with a week 2 matchup, I had this Riddlers comparison in my head, so what's a better team to have them face than the Good Thumpers, who have a couple of former Riddlers on their team. And I had no doubt they were going to win, or at least if they lost, it was going to be a really close game, but I was almost certain they were going to win, because they are the perfect team against the Good Thumpers. They really are. Good Thumpers are constructed with 1 point guard, 4 stretch 4s, and a couple of random pieces here and there. It's a team where they went talent over fit, and they have really good players, but I don't know how the fit's going to work. And I think the 0-2 start kind of proves that so far. But Shockers, very impressed.
Next week they play the Gorillas, and we'll kind of see how good they really are. Do you think it's going to be close?
I think it'll be close, depending on if Izzy's able to add a guy. I think there are certain people that would really help the Gorillas. I think they need to improve their defense a little bit. And also, if they could do that by adding a second big to go along with Helmy, that would be ideal. But even just another perimeter defender who can do a decent job on a post player, like Romero Nelson, would be a good fit.
So probably what was the game of the week? Last night, them faced off against the Red Devils. The Red Devils were shorthanded. I don't know who exactly they were missing, but I think they were missing a few players. Them was up by 13 at half and probably 20, 25, 30 in the second half. They blew that lead. The Red Devils came all the way back and won in 2 OTs. You think they just got too lackadaisical, or?
I was bored. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I was bored with the games, and I left for a while. Rebels Big Smash wasn't doing it for me, and them was blowing out the Red Devils. When I left, there was 13 minutes left in the second half, and it was 57-37. When I came back, there was a couple minutes left, and them hadn't scored yet. And watching them down the stretch, there's a huge difference between knowing who your star player is and giving him the ball in every possession. So I can't say what happened for the first 10 minutes, or the first 10 minutes I was gone, which had been minutes 13 through 3 onto the game. But from what people have told me, it was some pretty poor shot selection.
It was, from what I saw.
But the last 3 minutes plus the 2 overtimes, they've got more than one good player on their team.
Yeah.
Why?
The Red Devils were tripling.
Right.
They're double teaming Devin. Probably the whole second half.
It was ridiculous that everything they did was to get Devin an open shot.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Julian Williamson is an amazing player, and if that team ever breaks up, Julian, you got a spot on my team. Okay, you are awesome. I'm not a poacher, but if you guys ever break up, I gotcha. And yet he's ignored. Ant is ignored.
Yep.
Quentin Brown's got a pretty solid mid-range game. Jordan Jensen's got a pretty solid mid-range game and can finish around the rim. Yet everything was to get Devin open, and it's not that Devin's a bad player. He's not. He can shoot. Guy
when
can
you're
shoot.
double team or triple team,
Right.
gets tough.
Right. And that's, I think that was their problem there at the end. And then OT, it was just a war of attrition, and the Red Devils were able to mix it up, go to multiple players, and them didn't.
Yep. All right, so then we had the Lakers and the Squires. Lakers lost again to the Squires by, I think, 12. Do you think they're missing Twan, or do you think it?
No, I don't think so. Twan is a really good player, but I really think it's kind of post-playoff hangover for a lot of them. You can't go 8-0, win your first 2 playoff games, get into the Final Four, and then get absolutely destroyed by a team and come back and just be everything's A-okay. So I think week 1 they play the Rebels. We're missing Noe, and Randolph Bryant's supposedly on the team, but he hasn't been there either week. And I don't know. I like Mike. He was really good for the Blue Horns last year. The problem is I'm not sure if they're going to use him correctly at this time. I think there's going to be a little adjustment period, kind of getting all those pieces to fit. Kind of one of those deals where Noe, if you haven't played with Noe in the Sams before, you might be out there kind of wondering what the heck your role is. So I think there's a little bit of that going on. And yesterday, Noe and Ratty just didn't have very good games. Noe got ejected. I think he was 6 for 18. Ratty was 7 of 17. And the Squires they're a solid bunch. Cooper Cullen, perfect fit on that team. So they're going to be scary. I think this is the season they can push a little bit farther in the playoffs, because even with the talent they've had, they've been an early exit. I don't think that happens this year. I think they go a little farther.
So then we had the Hittas, or the free agent team.
Mm-hmm.
They got
on the board early.
They got their first win. They won by 20 plus, I think. Omar, the college player that we can't find online, had 30 points again. There's been some ramblings about him playing college,
and another guy who
we don't know. So if anybody knows and anybody has evidence, bring it to us and we'll check it out. We checked it out last night. Mm-hmm. We know there's an Omar who owns a hair salon, but
yeah.
Other than that,
will not give you a deal, but it's still good work. It looked like a fine establishment. Yeah, I got an issue. I don't have an issue with people wanting to clean the league up. That's fine. I love it that people care about it enough to say, listen, we got to get certain people out. Rec is dominant across the country because people care about it so much.
Yep.
The problem I have is if you're going to call someone out and do he played college, like
because he's scoring 30
because he's scoring 30 points, like the 15 people who have told me over the last 2 weeks. If you know he played college, be a man and say what college. Don't be half if you're already a narc. You might as well be full narc and help the league out rather than be like 75% narc.
Well, so if anybody's got evidence, bring it to us. So tonight in Fridley, not much went on. The Fob 5 lost to Callahan Auto Parts. I didn't get a chance to watch that game because I was playing at the same time.
Yeah, heartbreaker, by the way.
Yeah, heartbreaker for us. We could have got our first win. Stupid turnovers in the last minute. Fob lose to Cap. Mm-hmm. What was your take on the game? I think Fob lost by 12.
Yeah, I think it was a double digit. I think that's 2 straight double-digit losses for Fob.
And they were rested, right? They didn't have a game over in St. Louis Park?
No, Izzy and Dustin should have been at full strength tonight. They were missing Junius, who they claim is their motivator. They lost to Cap last season too, and they're a team that struggles against elite big men, and because they don't have a power forward. It's Ant and who? So Cap, once again this season, has a second good big guy to go with Kevin Chase. Not Natish. New guy, I don't know his last name. Steve Hart. Thank you, Emily, who's off camera. She's our editor. who amazing first step, not much of a shooter, but oh man, could he blow by some people and put a lot of energy out there. Fob's kind of turning into the Gorillas a little bit on offense, where it seems like the beautiful motion, the getting everyone else involved that happened the year they won the title, has turned into a lot more one-on-one. And I say the Gorillas because no one has more talent than the Gorillas, but no one plays more one-on-one basketball than the Gorillas either. So I think Fob's getting a little stuck in that rut, and everything they do seems to be to try to get Whiskas open. So it's them plus the Gorillas, except Whiskas is their center. And Mike's a great shooter, but if the other four were trying to score and proving to the opposition that, hey, we can do something too, Whiskas would get his open shots. But instead, I think he's being force-fed too much.
And again, I didn't get a chance to watch the game, but I did watch their game last week, and it just seemed to me like their defensive intensity was lacking. Again, during the championship run, they were intense, up in your face, hard-nosed defense. And watching last week, I don't know if this week was the same thing, but it just seemed that defense that they went off of isn't there.
And I mean, Ant's not Ferber. He's a better offensive player, but he's not quite the eraser on defense that Paul was. And he covered up a lot of mistakes. They could be a lot more aggressive on the perimeter, knowing that Paul was going to correct that and block some shots. And I don't think they've adjusted yet. But they're a good team. They're definitely not the worst champion of all time. That's an asinine comment from a couple seasons ago. But they also don't have the talent anymore to rest on their laurels. Like, hey, we were good. Hey, look at our T-shirts, our sweet jerseys. They got to go back to outworking people and playing smarter than people.
So then probably the game of the night, your Avengers played the Huskies, a Devin Liss Huskies. Rumor has it he broke his hand. Do you know?
I haven't spoken with him or anyone on his team. Oh, Ant. I talked to Ant, and Ant said, yeah, he broke his shooting hand. And that's a huge blow to both teams.
He's out for the season?
That I can't confirm. I'm not sure. But if he is, that's a huge blow to both teams.
Yeah.
Because them, as we saw last night, seems to be 100% dependent on him. And the Huskies,
they looked really good last week.
He's a perfect fit for the two big men. If they play inside out, he'd have nothing but open looks. So that was a very, very big blow. Now tonight, we were at Iron 5 because Trey Sales and Greg Reigenscheid were gone. They were missing Devin. But it was a physical battle. Even without Devin, they're a good team. With Devin, they're elite. They're top 2, top 3 in Fridley. Without Devin, they are probably in the 4 to 6.
They still pretty good.
Yeah, they're with Cap right there, Cap and Fob, and right in that mix. But Helmy he kicked my ass tonight. Yeah. I was playing really cheap at the beginning, and I think I fired him up, and I ate it the rest of the game. The stats may lie. He did miss 1 3, but I think he was 6 for 7, including a ridiculous bank. Corner step back on an inbounds play.
3?
3. There was a shot before halftime with 20 seconds left. Stupid shot. Like, you're running out the clock, but he was feeling it, so he splashes a 27-footer in my face with 20 seconds left. And yeah, I'm glad there's no footage of that because he ate me up. But we got the win. So.
That's good. So we're gonna end this week in rec a little bit differently this season. We're going to have Brigg ask you, the audience, 3 questions, and answer in the comments?
Yeah, and sometimes I'll ask a team, sometimes I'll ask a player, sometimes I'll just ask a hypothetical question or here's throwing it out there to everyone. So question number 1 I have is for Kyle Tice, and it's what is the deal with the headband? Are there none available in the men's section where you bought that? I laughed really hard the first time because I thought we had our first female player. Ripped female player.
Maybe he sweats a lot.
Right. He's ripped, so it was from a distance. But I thought maybe first female player in the league when I saw that headband. And so I'm just what's the deal with it? That's question number one.
Question number 2.
Question number 2 is for the Broncos. Do you know who your moneymaker is? Do you know? You had one player who having a very good game last week by the name of Todd White Elijah Juan Frederickson. And yet the final 13 minutes of the game, Todd sat his big ass on the bench while you had Adam Kidd not taking a break, Rob not taking a break, Whiteside playing like the whole second half, John Price out there, Morris, who I like on the court.
John Price needs a jersey too.
Yes. Morris out there. And no one's taking a break, yet Todd is sitting on the bench with 2 guys who I don't know if they played in the second half, Keeley and the other guy.
I don't think they did. They didn't play much.
Todd is an advantage against every team. He's stroking the 3 this year. He's got great moves. He can get to the hoop. He rebounds. What in the hell is he doing on the bench for over half of the second half? Was he hurt? He didn't look hurt tonight against us.
Played tonight.
So I know you got 9 guys. I know you're trying to get everyone in. But stick with the guys who got you to where you are. You got to the Elite Eight a couple seasons ago because of Morris, Rob, and Todd. So to have those guys on the bench and against good teams in key moments is ridiculous.
Question number 3.
Question number 3 is for Ben Yelke. When am I going to get my money? All right. NCAA tournament has been over for a long time. My bad for not collecting up front, but there are people who won and got second and got third who want their cash. And you, Sam Rosebear, and one other, Izzy owes me
Izzy's got $3.
Izzy owes me $3. He's paid me $7, which I mean, he's got a good job, so I don't know what's going on there. But you and Ben and Rosebear, when am I going to get my money? It's almost like you're not playing this season intentionally because you owe me $10. So when am I going to get it? That's my question number 3.
All right, that's it for this week. Until next week, we'll see you guys then.
We will fix the tripod so it doesn't look like Aaron and I are awkwardly sitting really close.
Or he's sitting behind me.
Or at an angle. So we'll fix that for next week.
See you guys.